and I'm going to try to record this. I'm new to that as well, so if you guys will bear with me. For those of you that were not with us last time, I'm going to go quickly through the slides that I had put together for Thanksgiving, and then we would like to discuss the email that went out yesterday regarding all of the changes for, that's not me with all, I think, Melissa, I think that was you. I'm going to mute you, if that's all right.
What did I do?
I think you were just not on mute, and there was a little feedback going on between our two computers, so not a problem. So anyway, I'm going to move quickly through these slides that we went over on the last meeting last week, and just give out our suggestions for Thanksgiving, things that have come down from the CDC, as well as Nurse Joy, who is our infection control specialist that really helps us through all of these lovely COVID changes that are happening so frequently. So I'm going to run through those really quick, and then we'll discuss the changes that also came down as of yesterday for the unfortunate 50% positivity rate that we have in Madison County. All right, so want to touch on our COVID testing policy. Right now, Madison County is in the red, so we are testing our staff members 2 times a week. I'm sorry, I did not update this slide. We are now at 50.1% as of yesterday. Looking for that probably to continue to increase, unfortunately. We were testing every Friday for several weeks in a row, but now we're going to be testing every Tuesday and Friday. We started that last week. Still no positives. Thank the good Lord for that. We'll keep our fingers crossed and continue to pray for those negative results. As of right now, since we don't have any positives among our staff or our residents, they will be tested every other Friday, and that will start this week. They'll be tested this Friday and then every other Friday, so long as we don't get any positives. Should we get a positive case among staff or residents, the residents might move into being tested every 2 times a week, just like the rest of our staff members. But right now we are being spared, and we're doing every other Friday for the residents, every Tuesday and Friday for staff members. We have moved to porch visits only. I think most of you guys know that. We unfortunately are going to a further restriction as of yesterday per the Dale recommendations, and we'll discuss those once these slides are over. But just wanted to let you guys know that we do have that patio heater. What I'm trying to do right now is get a calendar and or appointment service integrated in with my email and the concierge email, so that you guys will be able to hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm not super tech savvy, but hopefully be able to log in to a location on your internet, whatever browser you use, and hopefully make an appointment to visit. That way, hopefully to cut down on a little bit of miscommunication and confusions, and you'll have the opportunity to say that you would like to use the patio heater as well. We don't plan to keep that running all day, every day, as it does use propane, and it is under our covered porch, so we don't want to have any damages to our structure. So we're not going to leave it running at all times. We would like to do them per appointment. We are doing still deliveries sanitized upon receipt. We do encourage you guys to bring any items in containers that we can wipe down: Tupperware, plastic Ziploc bags, garbage bags. I know garbage bags are a little unsightly, but it is safer for us to be able to spray those things down with Lysol when they come in our doors, and it's safer for your loved ones as well. We adopted a few tips and suggestions from the CDC for Thanksgiving, which some of them seem a little crazy and preposterous, but we do want to maintain as much safety as we can for your loved ones, our residents. Those of you that are going Black Friday shopping, if you're crazy like that, I'm not, but if you are crazy like that, kudos to you. I'm sending out good vibes that you will have a positive experience and not a positive COVID test, but they are suggesting that you do wear your mask. If you are going over to someone's house or having people at your house, they're suggesting obviously frequent hand washing, wear a mask inside whichever location you're going to be. They're suggesting virtual Thanksgiving visits, which we have put out for you guys to be able to do that with your loved ones through our Zoom account or Google Duo, Skype, FaceTime, whatever platform works best for you. We would like to be able to give you guys an opportunity to share with your loved ones. We will do whatever we can to get you all connected. If you are going somewhere or are hosting an event, they are suggesting that you try to host that outside. With the weather in Kentucky, it may be a beautiful day on Thanksgiving. It might be cold and rainy. You really can't tell. So if you have the opportunity to host it outside, please do so. That would be wonderful. If you are going somewhere or having folks over, please remain 6 feet away from each other if you don't live in the same household. And here's a crazy one for me. If you're going over to someone else's house, bring your own food, which to me is kind of negates the, the get-togetherness of Thanksgiving, which is all revolving around that turkey. And then for any goodwill, if you guys want to bring something to your residence or do some goodwill in the community, you can do a curbside drop off. Those are suggestions that have come down from the CDC, and we would like to adopt as many of those as we could. The guidance that came down from Kentucky's task force is pretty much the same. Avoid any in-person gatherings with people you don't live with. Always wear your face mask. Social distancing of 6 feet. Avoid large gatherings. Do not host or attend any crowded parties, and avoid shopping in crowded stores before, on, or after Thanksgiving. So Kentucky's basically trying to tell you not to go Black Friday shopping. Do all your shopping online. And that is basically the end of our Thanksgiving suggestions. Does anybody have any questions about those? No questions? Guys are going to be quiet as church mice. I wanted to take an opportunity to go over the email that I sent out last night. If you guys have had a chance to read those, some of the questions that we're asking they're a hard ask. Unfortunately, we are going to have to go back to a lot more restrictive movement than we had previously. We did call it visitor restriction. We have already started that. As you guys know, we're doing porch visits only right now and/or window visits with your loved ones. We do have a couple of more things to add to those limitations. The CDC has asked, as well as the Cabinet for Health and Family Services, which is the body that governs us, we call them DAIL. They have asked to stop all non-essential transportation. So anybody that does not have an essential doctor's visit, they're saying that it's not a good idea for us to take folks out, especially our very vulnerable population. Not a good idea for us to take those into doctor waiting rooms and other locations, such as waiting rooms. So we're encouraging you guys to reach out to your loved ones' primary care physicians. And hi, Bella. Reach out to your PCPs and see if they will do virtual visits. We can do Google Duo, we can do WhatsApp, Skype, Zoom, and FaceTime. Several of us have iPhones, so we can do FaceTime as well for your loved ones to be able to have those virtual visits so they do stay connected to either their primary care physicians or their specialists. Right now, we're still allowing essential therapies. We are doing those in our visitation rooms so that those therapists aren't coming and going throughout the community. And we are asking that they schedule those. We have also asked those agencies that are providing therapies to our residents to provide us with their COVID testing policies and negative results. And so far, everyone has complied with that. We've been very grateful and lucky to get those agencies on board with COVID testing their staff members as well. We do ask that they gown up, glove up, and mask up when they come in our doors. And most of those therapists are being really diligent with their PPE. So they're doing that already. We're not really asking them for anything that they wouldn't do in any other location. So they're doing really good about being safe for your loved ones if they're providing therapies. This is a hard ask. I know a lot of you guys are still filling planners for your loved ones. We would like to encourage you to consider using a pharmacy delivery service. There are a couple of pharmacies that are delivering to Arcadian Cove already, and they're using disposable pop-out cards. These are a little bit more sanitary. They bring them in a plastic bag. Pharmacies are being very diligent about their health and safety protocols as well for COVID-19. And we would like to encourage those of you who are not using that service to possibly pick that up at least through the rest of the pandemic. We understand that you want to be hands-on with your loved ones and their medication needs. And of course, you can always call us. We can do individual Zooms. We can go over those procedures with you guys. But it's a little less things coming and going inside of the community doors. If you would utilize a pharmacy service, that would be helpful for us to mitigate the risk of exposure for your loved ones. If you would like to continue to provide that medication planner, filling the medication planners for your loved ones, we are asking that you keep their medications at home. A lot of you guys have their meds in their rooms in a basket, and we've been bringing the basket up to a certain location, a designated location for you to fill their planners. We're not going to be able to provide that room for you at this time. So if you want to continue to do that, we're asking that you either do it on the porch or in your car, which we know would be very uncomfortable for you guys. So if you want to continue to fill the medication planners for your loved ones, you certainly can. We would like for you to do that, be proactive and do that at home, and then bring a planner, a plastic planner that we can sanitize before we bring it into the building. We also are asking that you schedule any deliveries that you are bringing over to your loved ones with us. And this is simply so that we can facilitate that and make sure that we get it sanitized properly and make sure that it sits for the right amount of time before we actually deliver that into your loved ones. If you are using your delivery time to do a porch visit as well, obviously we want you to schedule those too, so we can make sure that we have the heater on for you and at least a decent, comfortable environment for you and your loved ones, and we can make sure the furniture is set up good, and then we can sanitize the furniture after you leave as well. We have changed our visitation hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we've done this so that we can be sure that we sanitize the room that your loved ones will be sitting in, which is our private dining room, that we'll have enough personnel there to be able to sanitize that room after the last resident has their visitation. We do understand that most of you guys work during the day just like we do. So if you need us to accommodate with a later visit, we can certainly do that. We just need to touch base with you guys and make sure that we know exactly what time you're coming so that we can get your loved one up to the private dining room. The easiest hours, like I said, will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But if you need to come later than that, we certainly want you to be able to see your loved ones. So please don't hesitate to just reach out to us so that we can make accommodations for you to see them at a later time. The required quarantine still for our residents, since we don't have any positives, yay. The required quarantine, if they go out to an essential doctor visit, even on our bus at this time, is a minimum of 5 days, and that is with a negative COVID test. So we do have a contracted lab that's coming every Tuesday and Friday. And if your loved one has to go out to an appointment and they want to reduce that 14-day quarantine, they can certainly do so with the negative test, but it needs to be after 5 days or on the 5th day. The test needs to happen on the 5th day. And I know that doesn't always work out as far as the way that we're able to test on Tuesdays and Fridays. So they might do a little bit longer than 5 days, but really 5 days is the minimum time that we can tell if a resident is had an opportunity for the virus, for lack of a better way to say it, to incubate inside their bodies. So if they get the test on the 3rd day, they could still be positive on days 4 and 5. And obviously they could be after days 4 and 5 as well, but 5 days is more of a safety zone for us. As far as the CDC is concerned, 5 days is more of a safety zone for us. So we do get our test results back within 24 hours. I check the portal on Saturdays and Wednesdays to pull those results, test results, which have all been negative so far. Praise the Lord. So if your loved one tests on a Friday and they want to potentially come out of their quarantine, they're looking for a reduction in time on that 14-day quarantine, and they test on a Friday, I will check the portal on Saturday, and if they are negative, they could potentially come out for, let's say, bingo on Saturday, 3 o'clock. So that's still going on at Arcadian Cove. And I think that's basically it in a nutshell that was in the email last night as far as the changes go. We do appreciate all of the patience that you guys have had with us through this. Everything is changing very rapidly. As you know, on Sunday night we were around 39%, and then on Tuesday morning we were looking at 50%. I'm sorry, yesterday morning we were looking at 50.1%. So Madison County is a little bit of a dangerous place right now, and we appreciate that you guys understand that we're not trying to keep your loved ones in prison. We're just trying to keep them safe and healthy, and we want to do right by them first and foremost. Their health and safety is our primary focus, and we appreciate that you understand that all these protocols that we're putting in place is for them, not for us, and not for any other reason than for health and safety. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questioning. I could talk all day, but I won't. So if you guys have any questions at all or suggestions for Thanksgiving or visitation or anything that you'd like for us to consider, please unmute yourself. I'm going to put myself on mute, but you're welcome to unmute yourself and go ahead and just ask any questions that you have. If I don't know the answer, I will do my best to find that out for you. Anybody have any questions at all?
Chris, hey, I do. I want to, first of all, I want to thank you for the tremendous job you're doing and the whole staff. And I just speak on behalf of hopefully other families that we're just very grateful for you and the diligent work you do. My wife and I both have COVID, and we're quarantining at home. So have been for several days. And I think, I stay in touch with Mom on the phone, and I think she's doing pretty well, all things considered. But I'm just thinking, we may need to bring her some supplies at some point. Hopefully we'll be over this soon, but I was just thinking if we went to like Kroger with a click list and they put it in our trunk and we never touch it, could your folks take it out, and that eliminates the middleman? I haven't done it that way before. I've usually brought things to the door. I'm just asking, would you just take it out of the trunk and do that?
Absolutely. You can also get those things delivered.
Okay.
Kroger makes frequent deliveries to Arcadian Co. for other residents.
Okay.
So does Meijer.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with the Meijer app, I haven't used the Kroger delivery, but I've used Meijer. Okay. So if you're familiar with the Meijer app, the first one is $10, and then every one after that is like $5. Sure. So they start reducing the price the more frequency the more frequent deliveries you get with them.
Well, that's good. I honestly didn't know they did deliveries like that. Yeah.
Yep. Kroger and Meijer have both been delivering to Arcadian for quite some time now. Okay. But if you wanted to do the no contact, we would certainly do that as well. Sure. We kind of encourage you not to get produce. If there's a specific produce that you wanted to get for your mom, Miss Sherry can definitely order that to come in on our truck. But anything that what we ask is, I know it's hard, is that anything that we can wipe down or sanitize or spray with Lysol, so anything pops, instead of getting them in a can, if you could get a pop in a plastic bottle that we can spray or wipe down. And then our crew members are actually wiping down the top before they actually drink out of it, or they're wiping it down and transferring it into a cup, so that we don't, get the potential for ingesting Lysol or anything crazy like that.
Yeah. Sure.
Prayers to you and your family. I hope you guys recover quickly. You look fantastic, so hopefully you're not doing too bad.
Just not to take up people's time here too much, but I guess everybody has different symptoms. It's kind of like just having a cold, and we've both been very, very fatigued, and we did lose our sense of smell, and our sense of taste has been minimized. We still have it somewhat, but it's just a weird thing, but I think we just ride it out. And I did have one other question, and then I'll be quiet, but just well, maybe you were going to get to this. Is Thanksgiving Day going to be kind of tough for having the visits at the window? Is that going to be tightly scheduled?
We haven't had anybody ask to schedule a window visit yet for Thanksgiving. Our
Yeah,
biggest concern right now was folks coming to get their loved ones to take them home.
yeah. Well, we're
Yeah.
not going to do that. We're not going to do that, but definitely want to see mom on that day if possible.
Oh yeah, it's definitely possible. We will have folks work in. Myself, I'm actually on quarantine as well right now. I'm not positive, but my daughter was exposed through her school, so
Yeah,
they did a mandatory 2-week shutdown. And then, of course, we're not sure what's going to happen after that from Governor Bashir's potential shutdown as of last night.
yeah.
But we do have staff at the ready on Thanksgiving Day that will be there and can facilitate a window visit for you guys for sure. So the heater will be available. Hopefully it'll be a warm day and you won't need it, but the heater will be available for you guys outside, and we can definitely bring Miss Jean up to the private dining room for sure.
Well, thanks a bunch. And again, I appreciate all you do. And that's my questions. Okay.
No problem. We
Thank
will
you.
be doing a phased lunch on Thanksgiving Day, just like we do every day. There hasn't been any new guidance against small group activities, so we're thankful for that. Lunches normally are from around 11:30 to about 1 o'clock. So if you want to come before 11 or after 1, that would probably be best. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions? We'll take them all. No? I heard a click. I heard a mouse click.
That was me. I was going to do my little resident referral thing. We are still accepting residents. So if you know of anyone, please reach out. They're a lot safer with us. And a lot of times people right now, especially with everything shutting down the way it is, not completely shutting down, but with all the restrictions that Governor Bashir has issued, people feel more isolated. So if you know of anyone, if you go to church with anyone, reach out to us and let us know. I wouldn't mind to pick up the phone and give them a call to check on them. But if you know of someone, just have them give us a call. And you receive, if it's a resident referral, then you will receive up to $1,500 in reimbursement. Is it reimbursement? Is that what you would say? Or
yeah, it's a credit on their statement, but for Christmas we're actually giving out a free month's rent. So the resident referral you would get a gift of a free month's rent for your loved one after the resident moves in and has been there for 30 days. Good call, Melissa. And we'd like to point out that we have secured plenty of PPE. Jaybird has put us ahead of the curve on that as well. We're contracted with a couple of different agencies so that we don't run out. We have several months worth stockpiled, and we're at the ready for potential positive, but let us all keep our fingers crossed and say those prayers that we don't get that. We've all been working hard to keep us the way that we are. So hopefully we won't have to use it, but if we do, we have it. Does anybody have any other questions? Well, if not, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Danny, thank you so much for your praise, and we'll be praying for you guys in a speedy recovery. If you guys need anything, let us know. We can also do curbside delivery. I'm sure Miss Sherry would probably cook up something really nice for you if you thought you could taste it. We would bring it. Well, with that said, we'll conclude today's meeting, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. If you want to go ahead and join us next Tuesday night, we'll be talking about Thanksgiving again, and potentially Christmas. I know we're not supposed to talk about Christmas till after Thanksgiving is over, but everybody's getting a little excited. We've got some pretty cool plans in place for that. We're hoping that we'll be able to actually execute those really cool plans for your loved ones and for us too, so that we can have some Christmas spirit. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next Tuesday.